welcome, dear friends, to our midnight soiree. It's now just gone midnight here in very cold, bitterly cold Cumbria, where it's 5 below freezing. And I welcome you to our soiree because we have entered a pivotal shift of consciousness, Christ consciousness. And many of us welcome this an amazing shift of light. It is a shift that is certainly affecting every child of God as I speak. It's affecting the animal kingdom. It's affecting the elements. And Gaia, our beloved Earth Mother, remains in mourning. Yes, Gaia is in mourning because the heart chakra of the world, Jerusalem, the birthplace of the Abrahamic faith, is in turmoil because Christian, Jew and Muslim are not really together, hand in hand, as the chosen people of God. Oh yes, we all give lip service, but at the root cause of this mistrust, I believe, is centuries of inequality and abuse, violent acts carried out in the name of a God of love. And no one carries the blame as an individual church or belief. All are responsible for a tit-for-tat revenge on each other because of fear. So let us, as brothers and sisters, children of the one true loving God supreme, we are related. Whether we like it or not, we are all related to the umbilical cord of the mystical heart of the Supreme. We may not be Christian, we may be Muslim, we may be Buddhist, we may be pagan or Hindu, we may be atheist or agnostic, but as a child of God, we are all related. And there is no escape from that. And we have now entered the epiphany of love. And we have been preparing for this since the harmonic convergence back in 1978. And then 1987, when the company of heaven spoke to several enlightened beings on earth. And many beings of light are crossing over into our earth plane as you and I sit here in the comfort of our home. Why? To prepare every child of God to surrender their heart to their loving Father, Mother God. So before we begin, let us reflect, let us pray. Let us use the gift that we have been given, the gift of free will. Let us come now into the presence of the Supreme, for there is no greater gift than to sit in the presence of the Beloved. So let us light our candles. Mine is lit here on our little altar before the Blessed Sacrament. And it burns 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, for 52 weeks of the year. And it burns with love for mankind. It burns as an act of love. So let us close our eyes. Let us be still. And let us give of ourselves to embracing our God self, our I am presence within. and let us allow the divine spark within you and me to be reignited in these 30 minutes. Let us call on the company of heaven, the messengers of the Supreme, who represent all faiths, the great spiritual teachers, Osho, Mia Baba, Rumi, the Lord Buddha, Gandhi, Sri Chinmoy, Francis of Assisi, Claire and Colette of Assisi, Thérèse of Lisieux, Bernadette Soubirous, the great Teresa of Avila, Julian of Norwich, Hildegard of Bingen. And let us not forget the ancient peoples, indigenous peoples, who prepared the groundwork for this monumentous event, the celebration of the return of the cosmic Christ in glory, to lead the children of God to their rightful inheritance. So let us call on the archangels and angels, who are the beating heart of God's love for us, where each child of God was assigned an angel and an archangel at birth, who have walked with you and me 24/7. Let us call on them now, and let us invite them into our space, our sacred space, our home, our sanctuary, our monastery without walls. So let us close our eyes and let us visualize Brother Sun and Sister Moon. Let us visualize the galaxy of stars, each as bright as the other. And let us visualize ourselves just flowing through space, seeing the beautiful planetary systems and reaching out and touching the stars. And in the distance, there is a bright light. And as we near this light, it is magnificent. It is awesome. It is indigo blue. It is the Christ star. And it's calling us to be still. It's inviting your heart and mind to just come into the presence of all that is. Love, divine love, where there is no agenda to convert, to reprogram, to destroy, to alienate the heart from the soul and the family of God. There is love here. So let us touch that star. And there is a voice speaking to us from this Christ star. Look at the star, and it guides you now to take a fragment of the star being released for you as a gift. And you reach out your hands and you bring the star back with you. And you can see yourself in the galaxy, just seeing the most amazing stars and planets. And as you look down, you see the earth and all the bright lights. And as you near, you dare see your home. And as you get closer, you see your front door. And now you walk through that door. And you are now back in your living room, holding the Christ star, a beautiful star, and you hold it in your hands and you allow it to touch you. You allow it to speak to your heart in the language you're familiar with, using words you are comfortable with. The star is the RSVP, the invitation to the divine banquet on the 21st of December, when the soul will be reignited with the Christ energies. We may not see it or feel it, but it is going to happen. And then will begin an amazing journey of trust. A trust that will evoke the heart to take control of the mind and to make time to walk in the presence of love, divine love. And we are that love. So let us now focus on our breathing as we hold the star, a portion of the Christ star, given to us by the cosmic Christ, as a gift to empower us, remain grounded, protected, loved, nurtured. Let us focus on that in-breath. And when we breathe in to the count of 4, the number for angelic miracles. And we hold our in-breath to the count of 4 and release it to the count of 4. Shall we begin? Let's do it. As we breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold it, 2, 3, 4, and now release, 2, 3, 4, and we relax. And now we get ourselves into the right position for us, where we are not putting stress on our spine, where we are comfortable, and where we've now removed our shoes and allow our feet touch the sacred earth. And let us visualize that we are the tree of life, the tree of knowledge, the tree of goodness. And this tree has 7 branches, as explained in Ascenic Energy Medicine, the teachings of the Essenes, and ratified by the Mayans, the Egyptians and Greeks, and all the great ancient civilizations who believed in a deity as supreme being. They recognized the tree of life. Jesus, who is coming as the cosmic Christ, endorses the tree of life. For we are the conduit of love from the heavenly city to Gaia. We are the link that enriches the earth with so much love. So let us see those 7 branches flowing up from our being, touching the heavens, the Father, Mother, God. And now the 7 roots from our feet, connecting with Gaia, the nature spirits, the elementals and divas. And let us relax. And when we breathe in, be aware of a connection with the 7 branches and the eternal city of light and love. And now we breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and hold it, 2, 3, 4, and release, 2, 3, 4. Be still. Be still. And allow the love of the Creator God for you flow down into your tree of life, into your heart, bathing your heart in unconditional love. And that love is combined with your love, with your respect and your dignity, and released now down through your 7 roots, releasing blessing, light and energy, and universal consciousness of the Christ to Gaia. And now we sense a stillness, a beautiful stillness has come over us, and our I Am presence within is reawakened to love. For God is love. And where there is love, there is God. Let us be still. And let us in this quiet time afford ourselves the energy that we now need when so many are being blown off course because they are not grounded, they are not making time in their busy lives to reconnect with the sacred. They're much too busy to pray, much too busy to be still. Are we much too busy? Or are we using this time as an important part of our worship? It is the spiritual medicine for the soul, for it gives energy and it gives life, and it empowers us to speak our truths. For we are love, we are peace, and we are the heartbeat of the cosmic Christ in a beautiful world that's lost sight of its soul, lost sight of its obligations as a child of God, as a co-creator of the divine. Let us relax now, for we are safe, for we are surrounded by the company of heaven and by our spiritual teachers and by our loved ones who've crossed over. They are interceding for us, that we remain solid, protected, nurtured, and that we have the humility to know that when we need help, that we will summon the Supreme and ask for help. Be aware of the peace here. Be aware of the gentleness that flows from the company of heaven into our mind, into our heart. And let us just be still and let the Christ speak to us. For he has much to say about our journey, about events now taking place in the world, climate changes, that are affecting the peoples of the world, where they're seeing storms, where they're seeing floods like they've never seen before. These are all part of the prophecies being fulfilled. The ancient prophecies are being fulfilled before our very eyes. And yet many whinge and complain instead of switching off the mind and asking the heart, asking the company of heaven, what is happening? Why is it happening? Is it part of the shift where we are moving from third into fourth dimensional energy, up into fifth dimensional energy? We have a duty to ask, but many choose not to, for they're afraid. They're afraid to ask for fear they may compromise their comfortable way of living. Or they prefer to talk the walk than walk the talk like Francis. So where are you and me tonight? What side of the fence are we on? Are we on the side of being in agreement to be the vortex of love, representing the Christ and Gaia, where we live in the world, to allow the divine light flow through us, down to the earth to heal it of the woundedness and the desecration that man has imposed unfairly on mankind, on the beautiful animal kingdom, and on creation? Or are we just going to be a bystander and moan for the world and complain and remain disgruntled? Or are we really going to take responsibility as a being of light? Because that's what we are. We are a child of God. We are a co-creator of the Supreme. We are in this world, but we are not of it. We're passing through. Because I believe that you and I were given a precious gift. And that gift was to share what we receive, to share the fruitfulness of our prayer life with the world, by holding the world in our prayer, by remembering those who have no voice, the downtrodden, the abused, the women whose lives are violated by men, who are being abused by their partners and husbands who are being abused by their partners, governments that abuse their people, religions that abuse the rights given to every child of God to freedom of expression. We, as a vortex of light, are also a child of love. And we have a duty to care, first for ourselves, that we make sure that we get our daily top-up, our daily fix, as they say, a daily fix of divine love through prayer. But what is prayer? Prayer is when we turn our mind from self, from our drama, from our fear, and we allow a spark of love come into our being and touch our heart. That is a prayer. When we call the company of heaven to guide us, to enable us see and hear and feel and sense what is the cosmic Christ saying to my heart right now. because so many are locked in a mindset of turbulence, of greed, of selfishness, of violent acts to oneself and others, and a complete disregard and a disrespectfulness towards the I am presence, one's God center, one's God self in one's God center. You and I were called by name. Like many others, we've been called by name to be ordinary, but yet live extraordinarily lives by the grace and help of God. To do the little things extraordinarily well. To do the humble, mundane tasks that we dislike intensely, but to turn them round as a gift, a prayer. To be still in the presence of God is a gift, it is a prayer. To call on the company of heaven is a prayer. To acknowledge the supreme in your life is the greatest prayer. And to allow your heart sing praises through song and dance, through poetry and art, through music and loving the animal kingdom and blessing those you meet is the greatest prayer. As a vortex of light, we have a duty to ensure that our light is kept burning bright through selfless acts, through discipline, through penance, through prayer. And prayer is the key that unlocks the mystery of the heart. Now let us come back to the Christ star and let us look at this star, and it is shining brightly now more than ever because it's fed off our love. It knows we are in love with the Supreme, so it's received energy from our heart, and that love is inspiring it to touch us now. So let us relax and let us reach out and touch the star, the Christ star, and bring it to our heart. Bring it to the heart, the gateway to the soul, the gateway to God, the gateway to love. Now receive that love. Allow that love touch you. Allow that love inspire you. Allow that love empower you. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for your wrong judgments, for being so harsh on yourself, for not allowing love into your life. Let love come back into your life so that you can sing again, so that you can dance in the presence of God. Happiness is within our reach, but many choose to remain miserable and full of self and victimhood. As a vortex of love for the cosmic Christ, we have a duty to let that light shine, and to let it shine out to the world, but first to ourselves. Let us receive that love now. Let us welcome and embrace the spark of the Christ star touching us now. Feel it. Embrace it. And let it fall in love with you. For you are worthy as a beloved of God. You are a co-creator of God. And this is your birthright. To be at peace in the presence of God. To be in love with the divine within you in the presence of God. And to celebrate your dignity, your divinity as a beloved of God. Be still and receive the greatest gift.